Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Hey, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Well, you can text us on 81215. You can follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute. When I say us, I mean myself, Alan Cochrane and Emily Dean. Can I begin by congratulating our producer, Daisy, who passed her driving test yesterday?
Oh,
yeah.
Very, very. It was one of the great moments of your life,
Amazing.
I think. If you list, if I was to list, say, the four great moments of my life, that's the other three. It's now striking me I can't say on radio. But certainly passing my test.
One involved a Hotel Intercontinental, because you told me that.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know that.
I do.
Maybe later. Anyway, it was free as well, because I was doing a corporate downstairs. So, yes, it is. It's a special moment. You feel like it's like suddenly getting the power of flight.
Mm-hmm.
King of the road.
Yeah, it's
and
brilliant.
I knew she was going to pass, because it was a male instructor. I know that's wrong, but I did know she was going to.
Oh, well, third time lucky, as he said.
Yeah.
I think I slightly spoilt things in that Daisy sent me a joyous text
Yes, I got
saying
that
I've
text.
passed my test.
Me.
And I said, well, actually, it's P-A-S-S-E-D, not P-A-S-T. That was my...
Hey, why did you say that?
Because even in moments of elation, I think spelling still counts. Okay? So anyway, welcome to the show, everyone. I hope you're feeling up. The hangover's not too bad. Everybody's drunk. Everybody in Britain is drunk at the moment, except me. So it seems. But I am eating...
Yeah, well, we are as well.
I'm eating chocolate at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Where did you start with? You start with the... Oh, you started with the back.
I've got a chocolate reindeer. I started at the Scott.
I've gone head.
I didn't even think they had a Scott. I thought they had like a proper tail of reindeer, but no, they've got one of those,
No.
like a Bonnie
I've
Girl.
not started mine yet.
Bonnie Girl Scott. Can I begin by telling you something terrible that happened to me this week?
Oh, yeah.
I did the Graham Norton show, and that isn't the terrible thing.
No.
I like doing the Graham Norton
It's
show.
a very good show.
He's a nice bloke.
Who are your fellow couch people, can I just ask?
My fellow couch people. You know, you get your initial 3 people on the couch, and then
Yeah.
you're joined by a musical guest.
Oh, yeah, at the end, yeah.
Is the way it works. I think that was the spot that Melanie Masson had in mind when she was asking me if she could come on my show.
That's
Probably,
right.
so
Oh,
you might
yes.
recall.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we talked about the fact that I'm often mistaken for Graham Norton, and I said, "Are you ever mistaken for me?" And he said, "No." So what does that mean?
Zing.
It's a bit of a one-way street.
Yeah.
This look-alikeness. So I was with Billie Piper.
Lovely.
Oh, I was very excited about it. Actually, when I met her, you did the Showbiz Kiss. I said, Rose.
You
No,
didn't.
that's because that was their character in
How
Doctor Who.
embarrassing.
No, she was fine with it. It wasn't just a
She
random
was fine with
name.
it, but she actually said, what a muggle.
Look, I could have called the stuff based on other well-known roles she's played. Then she'd have a
this is
reason to
true.
be upset. So it was, and Josh Groban, the singer.
Oh, you raised me up.
Well, I didn't think you'd be that excited. So wasn't that Jerry Halliwell who did that?
No, that he did you raise me up.
Raise me up. So anyway, that was it. It was all set, and the musical guest was Example.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
trendy, Frank. He's
Yeah.
one of the trendies.
But I'll be absolutely straight with you. You know, I'm a middle-aged man, and when I say middle-aged, if I'm going to live to 110, I'm a middle-aged man.
That's bleak.
And I thought I could do in the modern technology. I mean, it could be the last 4 years as a hologram.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I thought, I'm not familiar with Example's work. So I thought I'd go on the YouTube. You know the YouTube.
Yeah.
Go on there and find a few, as it were, examples.
Par example.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Few EGs.
So I listened to a track. Do you know what? I loved it.
Oh, good.
It was brilliant. I really, really liked it. And I thought, I'd play that on Absolute. It was a little bit... it was a little bit drum and bassy for Absolute, so I don't think I'd be allowed.
It's a bit street for us.
It was a bit straight. It was a bit rubric.
Right.
And I'm just seeing if any of these adjectives fit. So anyway, it was slightly garage and a bit grunge.
Okay.
And
It wasn't grimy, was it? No.
Not the version I looked at. No.
Good.
No.
Anyway, so I really liked it, and it was called Lowdown. So we did the show, and the show was I put my blue Stratos on. I was all set, turned up. Show went nicely. I saw afterwards. Example came up to me and said, "How you doing?" and all that. Mm-hmm. And I said, I said, I'd tell you, there's a track of yours I really love, Lowdown. And he said, what, you've heard it on Lowdown? I said, no, the track Lowdown.
Oh.
I said,
I feel so ill at this moment. I know it's not going to end well.
I said, I think it's brilliant. I said, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't familiar with your stuff, but I listened to that. I thought, honestly, it's great.
Oh my God.
He said, I don't have a track called Lowdown.
Frank, this is the worst thing you've ever done. I feel ill.
And I actually did. You know those things you hear people say, oh, no, I think you did. I actually said, no, you definitely. It's definitely you. I mean, oh, please. And he said, no, honestly, I don't have a track called Lowdown. And, the show had gone well, and I felt good. I had that
glow.
If a show goes well, I'd say a good show and ready break, the two things in my life that give me that glow. Mm-hmm. And I had that. I felt up and elated. And I suddenly got the quickest stomach ache I have ever got in my life. I was crippled with stomach pains.
I can't believe you argued with him. That's like that extraordinary argument you had with Tony Blair.
Yes, about whether Brian Ricks was alive and he'd met him the week before or something. Yeah, but we'll come back. Oh, God. It was so... and the terrible thing was, he blushed on my behalf.
Oh, no.
I made Example blush.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I was talking about...
Your favourite Example track. What is it, Frank?
Lowdown.
Yeah, but can I say...
What's the Lowdown?
Turns out there is no such...
Well, in my defence, there is a track called Lowdown by Example. I just got the wrong example. The example that I looked at was X, the letter X, and then ample.
Oh, dear.
He sounds a bit more Ibiza.
Whereas he is EX. He's the more traditional.
He sounds more clubs in Vauxhall.
You'd think, wouldn't you? I mean, God bless Example. He was very nice to me about it. And then went on to say, by the way, my uncle played for West Bromwich Albion.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah.
Shut up.
He did, yeah. Tony Grealish. I saw him play many times. Anyway.
So had he said my uncle played for Aston Villa in a really cheerful, like, yay!
Yes.
That would have been an example of...
And if he'd have said the Wolves,
An
I'd have spat in his
example.
face.
the Wolves.
But anyway, he knows that there is someone else called Example that's spelt slightly differently.
Mm.
Why didn't he say, I think you've got the wrong example? It happens all the time.
Maybe they should have, like, kind of...
Maybe they should have, like, proper names.
Well, they should have proper names,
Yeah.
but if they're not going to do that, if there is going to be two of them, they should do Good Cop, Bad Cop, and one of them could be Good Example, and one of them could be Bad Example. And then you could hear it, and, like, parents could say, that's a bad example to set to the children.
Yeah, you're right. And in another Maestro mix-up this week, I was working with...
Tell me you didn't meet the situation.
No, I didn't meet the situation. But I did meet Bradley McIntosh from S Club 7.
Oh, I was a fan of their early work.
Oh, yeah, they were massive. He was telling me they
They had a
did stadium
Has he
gigs.
beefed up?
Did they just...
Oh, I see.
No, he did. He was a fan of Ginsters, I remember.
He seemed all right to me.
Was he okay? He pulled
he
a
was-
ripcord at one point, but maybe he's lost it.
No, he looked good. He's
Okay.
still quite, he's with it. He wears the baseball
He's with
cap.
it.
Oh, he's very with it. Anyway, he was. We were playing a quiz in front of an audience, and he said, he was saying, "Oh no, I don't want to guess this. I'm not sure about it." And I said, "Oh, go on, Reach for the Sky." Now,
Oh, no.
the several things happened at this point. In case you don't know, Reach for the Stars is the actual name of the S Club track. But I said Reach for the Sky, which is actually, of course, the Kenneth Moore biopic of Douglas Bader. It's a mistake anyone could make.
Bradley is a fan of that, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know if he is, actually. I don't know if he liked Old Tin Legs, as he was known. But anyway, Bradley looked at me with... He didn't look angry, he looked a bit hurt that I'd got the title wrong. And I think it wasn't helped by the fact the audience all laughed as if I'd got it right.
Oh.
As if it didn't really matter. what it was called.
Well, I think
we know what you mean.
You probably sold it convincingly, Frank.
Yeah, but it's, Reaching for the Sky, it's a less ambitious project altogether, isn't it, than Reaching for the Stars?
Yes,
so I think he felt I'd downsized his dreams.
That's just yoga, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Or being, stretchy.
Yeah.
And then, on top of all that, my musical hat trick is I tried to get tickets for one of my all-time favourite bands, Kraftwerk, the German electro-pop giants, who were playing at Tate Modern. And the whole thing crashed. The whole website crashed. The phone was engaged. They're doing 8 nights. They're all 8 albums. I wanted to go to all 8 nights.
That's unlike the
Nothing.
Germans. They're very organised normally.
Nothing. We can't blame them,
Yeah.
It was an art thing. And my personal assistant, who never ever swears, was so outraged that she couldn't get through that she sent me an email that began with the phrase "damn and blast," which I it made it almost worthwhile. And relax.
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
It is the season of gifts,
In it?
I think you'll agree. And I had rather a spectacular gift. It was me. I mean, I've got a picture. We should put it on the website. It's me carved on a watermelon.
Oh, lovely.
My face.
Lovely.
You'd be surprised how good it is. I'm gonna show you guys now, but we'll put it on the. I love excluding the listeners if I possibly can with visual things. But anyway, I'll keep talking about it. And it was one of the best likenesses. I occasionally get sent drawings of me from prisoners and that kind of thing. And anyway, I got this watermelon, and it's one of the best likenesses of me I've seen. But what happened is they don't keep.
No.
And
Did it perish?
It went. If you can imagine that I'd written a short story called "The Watermelon of Dorian Gray," in which I kept my portrait in the attic. That's what happened. So pretty soon there was actually a piece of blue mould on the cheek, and I thought, I've got all that to look forward to. And now have a look at that. Now the roses on that, they're made out of slices of turnip, dyed pink. You wouldn't believe it.
That is a turnip for the books.
Oh,
Writing that down.
Crow.
And
Some of your
You've
best
no
work.
idea how long I've been trying to think of a watermelon pun for.
but who'd have
Passing
thought
that on,
that
that is amazing.
you could make a rose out of a turnip? And they say you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
They can now, apparently.
Yeah, can they?
They're going to change that saying, yeah.
Oh, I know you could make maybe if Miss Piggy's here, you could make a foam latex purse. I don't know what you'd do about the zip.
I've just done that thing of scrolling through the photos, which I'm not meant to do.
Oh, no.
Oh no! Oh, you've seen that one now. Sorry about that. But
Is that you in the Intercontinental?
I was just messing about.
No, they didn't have cameras then.
But I had another gift. Some people I've been working with bought me a banjo.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, the thing is,
You've already got a uke, though. Haven't you got a couple of these?
Well, this is the problem.
Got a
you
lot
see.
of these things.
I've already got like 3 banjos.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, and I mean, last year they played safe with falconry vouchers.
Did they?
Yeah, which is my kind of gift. You have a day's falconry, just turn up with your voucher. Mm-hmm. I love a voucher. I think every year I say this. They're the best gift.
Yeah.
And it was a very nice banjo, and I thought, what do I do? Do I take it away and think, oh well, you can always use an extra banjo, or do I say, I don't want this, because people don't like it.
Excuse me.
Anyway, I said, look, I've got
In the manner of
banjos.
Simon Cowell.
Yeah, I said, look, yeah. Look. Well, look, I've got banjos. And I said, I don't want it. And yeah, it was difficult.
You did not say that.
Yeah.
What, just because you've already got them?
I don't
Yeah.
want it.
But that's one of the hardships of buying for someone such as yourself. Maybe they're thinking,
But I thought, how better for them to know that they've got me something that I want.
No, not better.
no,
Awful.
no, they've actually got you something you don't want
The
for.
terrible thing was I did both performances, because when they bought me the banjo, I said, oh, brilliant, fantastic. And then after I thought, no, actually, I don't want this. So the next time
No.
I saw them, I said, actually, I don't want it. I was lying. So now,
Oh.
they've seen how good a liar I
They'll
am.
never believe a word you say
Never.
ever again.
Anyway, I've ended up with a voucher for Hobgoblin. No, it's not as good as it sounds. That's a music shop.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so I've got a voucher to go.
It's also quite a tasty beer. I was thinking it was a terrible gift for you.
Yeah, well, now I've got the voucher. But it was, I actually started thinking, I heard a thing on the radio years ago. A woman said that she was very careful not to mix the knives, forks and spoons in her drawer because she felt they'd squabble in the night.
Oh, I love that.
And I thought, if I took a banjo home to my ukuleles, it'd be a bit like... You know when John Lennon took May Pang home? Now, apparently Yoko Ono was all for it. But when they had an active love life in her vicinity, she went off
I
the
love
idea.
your descriptions. An
know that.
active love
Well, it's
life.
breakfast radio. You got to keep it a bit steady. Yeah, she wasn't so happy, and I thought that'd be the kind of tension there'd be with the. You're looking at me like that for?
No,
Okay.
I was gripped by this.
I'll tell you what. Why do our listeners the worst gifts you've ever received, or when you've actually said to people, "I don't want this."
Oh,
yeah.
a lot of
Anything.
people haven't said that, Hank. I have to tell
Well,
you.
I'm hoping to set a trend.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You're asking about bad gifts that people have received. We've already heard from the outside world. Dear Emily, Alan and Frank, I once received an electric fire from my now ex-husband.
I love that man. Can I just say?
What an amazing Christmas gift that is.
The thing is, that's one of those gifts where is it for? You're going to get the benefit of that electric fire as well.
Yeah.
It's
do you think he gave it to her whilst wearing gloves and a woolly hat going, I'm looking forward to you getting this?
I don't know, it's not a terrible present, is it?
Well, she thinks so.
It's pretty bad.
Depends how many bars.
It's pretty bad, and this is coming from someone who once bought her father a sheet of solitary sandpaper for his
did you?
birthday. Yes, I just thought that's what you bought, Dad.
Right, yeah.
That's all it was.
Was it
That's all
framed?
Was your dad especially gritty? Was
No.
he?
Oh, lovely work, though.
Yeah, what happened is that he bought a lot of very smooth matchboxes.
Yeah.
I would say that's a fine gift.
I'd want more than one sheet.
Yeah, you don't want more than one sheet. But then he paid me back, as I think I told you last year, by getting me 50 Shades of Grey.
Ah,
Have you read it?
Have I? Hell.
Okay.
I think I may have mentioned on this show before that I was very, very tactless once early on in my relationship with my wife when her parents gave me posh soap one Christmas.
I love posh soap.
Well, I do now. I've come full circle. But at the time, I went, have you bought me soap? It was really, really charmless.
Oh, dear.
And yeah, but I couldn't quite believe that they'd bought a young man some soap. It was sort of
No,
like-
I'm always happy.
I thought they were saying I stank.
My cleaner always buys me soap.
Really?
Oh, is that a hint, do you think?
No, I think she
Is it in those bottles that spray? One of those?
she operates within a narrow theme of cleaning.
Frank, 454, my missus sends awesome prezzies, such as restricted view theatre tickets, a second-hand Snuggie, and a Wallace and Gromit sheep magazine holder.
A what?
A Wallace and Gromit. It must be, I'm assuming it's in the shape of a sheep or something, a magazine
Oh,
rack.
I
That's
see.
from Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Quite like the sound of that. must
Yes,
say.
I do as well.
We once gave somebody a wine bottle holder that was shaped like a banana, so it just looked like a banana. But then you put a bottle of wine in it and it sort of sticks it out horizontally, as it were.
Can I also say...
Can I cue Emily's catchphrase at this stage?
Filthy creep.
Well, I received something this morning which filled me with great excitement, and I'm going to tell you what it is after this.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, our listeners have been texting in about terrible Christmas presents.
Good.
And there are quite a few of them. We've got 161. Hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. Worst gifts. My brother, when he was 14, received an incense burner in the shape of the Grim Reaper. he was in no way a goth. One of my favourite caveats ever, I have to say.
Yeah, I like that. I like the protesting there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He was in no way a goth, and it seemed to be of pound shop quality. To this day, we have no idea why he was bought it, but it makes us laugh every time we think about it. So maybe in a way it was the best gift ever received. Lovely Christmas, Martha in Surrey.
Well,
Exactly.
can I say, I
keeps on giving.
I set up a bit of a teaser before this of a gift thing, and I
Yeah.
received an envelope when I arrived at Absolute this morning. It says on it, for the attention of Frank Skinner, and then it says in brackets, urgent, Top Cat coin.
Excellent.
And if some of you, the regular listeners will know that, this is me opening it now, is that...
It's like a Radio 4 drama, this.
A listener who... what would happen is we wouldn't finish out... That's what they do. That's
Look
the
at
acting
this.
on Radio 4. He said, but you haven't... But why didn't you even... That's when it's getting really serious. But anyway, a friend of the show runs a vending machine company. I think that was the story, wasn't it?
Yeah. He'd retired.
And
from-
they found a coin on a string. It's 50p on a string. I have it in my hands here.
Oh, wow.
So that someone had been using it in the machine the way Top Cat always gives a tip at the end of the show, the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
and then pulls it out again. So I've got a 50p on a string, and I'm going to see if that works on things. And no one's going to stop me.
No, you are the indisputable leader of the gang, after all.
Exactly. And like Tom Cruise, close friends get to call me TC.
Nice.
He's been seen out with a girl.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. That's old skirt
Blonde-
chaser.
Was it a blonde that he'd picked out in Sweden?
Oh, you know what he's like.
Yeah.
Picking a blonde in Sweden must be a tricky needle in a haystack sort of a thing. By the way, it was Rob who sent us the Top Cat coin.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
remember, he signed himself Rob, long time listener.
Yeah.
But he used a capital L, and you thought he was Rob Long.
I thought it was a pun.
A rookie error, if I
And
may
he
say.
says here, I made a mistake with the thing, and Alan went on to suggest that my name was Rob Long, time listener, thus making me out as some sort of cheap Doctor Who sidekick. And then he ends, Alan, you're the idiot.
Does he?
No need for that, is there?
People usually just text us that abuse directly because they know I get to read
Don't
it.
ever tell me that.
I meant for
As far
me.
as
I
I'm
meant
concerned,
to me.
every text to this show is glowing praise.
Well, actually, some of them are reporting their previous bad gifts.
I'll settle for that.
We have one here, Frank. I once received a horse racing almanac, a book full of racing stats going back years from my auntie when I was 10. I have no interest in horse racing. From Gary in Manchester.
Didn't they get you into it, though?
You'd think.
I'd have thought, now I've got the book, I'm going to dedicate my life to horse racing.
Yeah, but that's your even the feet approach, isn't it?
Yeah, my dad had all that sort of stuff, ready reckoners and stuff like that.
Oh, my dad had Wisdons. Yeah,
Right.
all dads have that.
My dad died. Is that what we're doing? We're going round we're going round the group, are we? Okay.
Oh, no.
I started that.
568. Really bad Christmas present. My friend, when we were at uni, bought his new girlfriend an abdominizer for Christmas.
Oh.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, that is.
The relationship was a short one. That's from Carrie from Bristol.
That's so...
Awful.
Yes, you don't
it's
want to do that.
Really bad. And slightly perplexing, my wife got a second-hand folding coat hanger from Perry.
No, that's actually Alan's wife.
My wife, yeah.
From Perry? Oh, she got what? The text is from Perry.
Yes.
You said it as if it... My girlfriend's mum says to me, Alan and Corrine came over on Tuesday. They're always people I don't know who they are. And they said Susan hasn't been well. And never explained to anyone is. I thought you were doing that. Got a coat hanger from Perry. Oh. Okay.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cochrane and Emily Dean. You can text us on 81215. Follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute. And you can Xerox us on... what is that number? What's the
I don't
Xerox?
know.
What's the Xerox?
It's the same as the Telex one.
Okay.
We've had a telegram in.
And you can fax us on...
Had a telegram in, that was from John Bishop.
Morning, Frank and team. Our great auntie bought myself, sister and 2 cousins what she believed were Malteser Christmas crackers. When we opened our gifts, they were in fact dog biscuit crackers. We never told her.
You know, I remember eating dog chocolates as a child.
Oh, God.
I kind of said they didn't kill me, so that I suspect the reverse is not true.
You
that
know,
if
your
they-
childhood was dog treats and raw sausages. It sounds
is that
more and
Stick
more
of the
bizarre.
Yeah, that is actually the title of my autobiography.
What, Stick of the Dump?
No, dog treats and raw sausages.
Frank,
A life.
202. 202, my mum bought me a 12-plug adapter for Christmas. Her reason for the gift was that you can never have enough plugs.
I'll tell you the great thing about those European multi-adapter things is they're great for a multi-joystick holder if you're having a meditation session.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Burning some of your incense.
Little tip.
Handy.
Frank, there was a bit of a reunion this week. Did ye see?
Aye, 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 aye.
You all right? Thought you'd sat on a pin.
No, I'm all right. No, yes, it was the lovely Spice Girls enjoying themselves.
Oh.
Well,
Extraordinary
80%.
statement.
80% of them.
Well, we'll get on to that. Because I bet my favourite one is your worst one.
I can guess because of your fashion connections who you like best.
But I like the one who looked streets ahead of the rest sartorially.
Oh, you like Jerry?
Oh, Young Musician of the Year in the Ruffles? No, thank you. Please.
As we've said before, they need to get together before and say,
Yeah.
what look are we going for? You see, the Beatles had it right. The Beatles would wear matching suits.
Yeah, although they hated that
Mop
period
tops.
of their life, didn't they?
Yeah, but you know when you see them turn up at Shea Stadium and they got those matching
Yeah.
suits, they look
Looks
brilliant.
awesome.
Like One Direction.
Yeah, there's an element of sort of a very smart, quick fit about them.
Yes.
Whereas they've all turned up for different events, the Spice Girls.
When I know this
Yeah.
is a bugbear of yours, and when I saw the picture, the first thing I thought was Frank's going to be stiff with stress.
No, I don't.
When he sees this sartorial lineup.
They're all dressed for different events. I don't.
Yeah, Jerry was Young Musician of the Year.
Well, I thought Jerry
I
looked lovely.
thought, no, she didn't. Mel B looked very sexy, I thought. Bit bodycon. Did you see that? She's very I Love My Curves.
She is. She's very I Love My Curves, but you know she's
Emma Bunton.
great.
Bit of
Nice.
full-length lace. Did we like
No,
that?
she's nice.
Oh, okay.
She is
and
nice,
Mel
though, ain't
C,
she?
a
That's
bit
it.
cheeky and flirty. I like that. But a bit
Yeah.
for
Cheeky
me,
and flirty. They're 2 new members.
for me, it was Victoria all the way. I thought she looked so chic and elegant. She looked amazing, and she was doing with the jacket. Did you notice,
Come
Frank?
off it.
No, they call it shoulder robing when you don't actually put your arms through the jacket.
Oh, is that what she'd done?
It was like Peter Spencer off Sky News.
Yeah.
You know, the sort of camp Dracula reporter,
I know
political
exactly who
reporter
you
on
mean,
Sky
yeah.
News. He always does that with his overcoat on his shoulders.
Yeah.
See, when I see somebody, what's it called? Shoulder robing.
Shoulder robing, it's
When
a
I
fashion
see
thing.
that, there's always a little bit of my eye that looks down to see if they've got an arm in a sling, because that's what people do when their arms.
I think it mocks everyone who's got an arm missing.
An arm missing, an arm in a sling.
Even Lord Nelson.
Even especially Lord Nelson. No, I think as you know, I'm a cloak enthusiast, and they're people who are just playing at it. If you want a cloak, get a cloak. What you end up doing, you have to you sort of hunch. I've tried it. You hunch your shoulders to try and keep the coat on. Mm-hmm. You know the way like you claw your toes in flip flops.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Oh,
so
yes.
You're constantly clenched around trying to keep the.
Lovely.
See, you haven't got the throat cord that you have on your standard cape. I think it was a lovely coat she was half wearing.
It was beautiful.
It was even I thought that's a beautiful coat.
You see, she can't hang out with them. She's got to protect the brand now.
Oh, but come on, smile.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Yes, so
Spices. Who did you like, Jerry? You always like Jerry.
I presented a Brit Award to the Spice Girls many years ago. It was that thing when. Do you remember when as as Jerry approached the stage, she sort of fell out of her dress. Do you remember that? She had like a...
Yeah.
When that was happening, I was the one standing with the award waiting for them to
Oh,
get on the
God.
stage.
And the rest, as they say, is history, is it?
Yeah.
Was that when you presented the actual Brits?
No, it was when I just I
Oh, good.
presented
I can't
an
talk
award.
about that,
No,
okay.
I can't. You think I'd bring that up?
No,
At
but
Christmas? And I remember them that night. There was all these super cool bands who'd won awards, all standing around. Even though they'd won awards, couldn't smile because, they were like cool bands, man. Yeah, we don't really care about it, we just... all that. The Spice Girls stood in a small, tight circle and jumped up and down really high so that their knees banged together in the middle. They were absolutely bursting with excitement, and I loved it. I thought, how great to win an award and think, yeah, loving it. And it looks like 4 of them are still loving life. And the other one has become Laurence Olivier's Richard III.
Distant.
I won't have that.
No,
She has
look, I
become
agree.
distant.
She wore a lovely outfit.
She did.
She's got a very nice...
She's a chic NY fashion designer now. She can't associate with these ruffled characters.
But it was the way poor David Beckham was trying to smile for 2 in the photos. He was really giving it some. So, I mean, I know that. I've been out with the partner when they're in a bad mood, and you try and be extra genial, seeing if you can melt them a bit. It's not going to work with Vic, I don't think.
Hats off to the Sun, though, who I thought came up with a great headline, given that she was a bit distant from them. I need my own spice. That's good, I think.
Very
I like that a lot.
Long live forever, by the way.
Sorry?
Long live forever is that's what Viva Forever means, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to wish anything a long life, I think you're wasting your time with forever. That's the one concept that can look after itself in the long life area.
Yes.
So what does it mean, that title? It means nothing.
I don't think that much thought's gone into it.
Maybe they should have gone for Viva Milk, like long life milk.
Yeah?
Long live milk.
Vauxhall Viva Forever? That would have made
Vauxhall
sense.
Viva forever.
If it was about like a car renovation workshop that they all worked in, that would have worked out.
Obviously, for me, the word forever is always synonymous with Judy Blume's work.
Oh.
I think we can all learn from these photographs of the Spice Girls that you have to make your choice in life, whether you're going to be the jumpy up and down, giggly, happy person, or the sullen one
And whether you're going to look nice.
with the semicolon. Yeah, but you know what
I
I
know
mean?
which one I'm going for.
It's like, I found one expression that works for me, I'm going to stick with that. You can try 1 or 2 others. I seem to remember her smile wasn't great, but, you're out with a family. I say I seem to remember it. I last saw it in the early 90s.
Frank, Catherine Wood has texted in. My father wants...
Do you know Catherine Wood?
No.
No, but thanks for the tip.
My father once bought me a battery recharger, but without the batteries. I was only 10 years old and couldn't afford to buy them. Oh, that's sad, isn't
Wonder
it?
what happened to that battery recharger. I hope it wasn't wasted.
We've also had a text. My nan once bought me and my 2 older brothers a blank VHS each, writing on the label, because some moments in life are worth recording.
Oh, how lovely. That's
nice.
lovely. I hope that the tab hadn't been broken off and replaced by sellotape, that's what they used to do. I tell you what, let's have some reasons to be cheerful from our listeners, because I had an experience this week which I think has changed my life, and I'll tell it you after this.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, you were talking earlier about reasons to be cheerful. 610 has texted in, Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, reasons to be cheerful this week. This Thursday I walked past the stage door of the Theatre Royal Bath. Outside, 4 dwarves having a fag.
Brilliant.
Love it.
I like the idea. We know there was 3 non-smokers now
Yeah.
inside, saying they're killing themselves. My thing this week was I bought for the first time. I'm talking about reason to be cheerful because I think that 4 of the Spice Girls seem to be able to enjoy themselves, and I think Victoria has lost her way. I'm trying to help her out if she's listening. I bought some sliced cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Cheese, but already sliced.
What What
We're
kind
back
of cheese?
to bad
Can
Christmas
we...
presents.
It was a mature cheddar.
All right. Okay. Nice.
But it wasn't like one of those plasticky square cheese things. It was like a normal block of cheese, but sliced. I can't tell you how convenient it was.
Why
I
not?
started...
Extraordinary anecdote.
I started having...
Is it a secret?
I started every sandwich I had. I thought I might have a square of cheese, or as soon as I don't have to slice it. There was no knife
But
washing.
you have got previous with your Leerdammer lighter life.
I know, but this
Leerdammer's good.
was just like proper cheese, and already sliced.
Is it wrapped in cellophane like the processed cheese, or is it just there?
No, he keeps saying it's
What do you think?
proper
It's like a
cheese.
big stack, and you just help yourself. No, of course it's wrapped in cellophane. That'd be ridiculous.
Just interested in what
Yeah.
the system is.
Do you know what? I'm with you, Cockerel. I'm finding this difficult to visualise.
It's just you buy sliced cheese, so you don't
So
have
I
to.
know you buy sliced cheese, but what was unusual about it?
I've never bought it before. I buy a block and then I use a knife. Isn't that what people do?
Yeah, that's how I'm.
I'm thinking
rolling.
now. I've got an eye on the grated cheese bag.
Oh, once you
Oh,
start
yeah.
on that, you'll never go back.
No,
That's my saying.
but how brilliant! What have I been wasting my time cutting cheese? And it's
You're wasting your time cutting the cheese.
The times I've cut cheese and it's been at one end of the strip of cheese, it's too thick. There's too much cheese. I don't want that much cheese. At the other end, I could read the newspaper through it.
Oh,
When you grate, Frank, which end do you use?
when you grate.
Which end?
Yes. You know when you're grating? 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes you end up with a terrible irrigated surface on the top, I find, with the cheese.
No, I keep an eye on that though, because sometimes
Oh.
if you're grating with great gusto, you end up with a slope on the cheese.
Yeah,
And what I
Yes.
do is I turn it round to level it. I like to keep it level, the cheese.
yeah.
I've noticed my mother-in-law, who I love very much, has got a habit of leaving the cheese on a bit of a slope.
Does she?
And I feel I have to level it out, even if I don't want cheese. I have to grate it level.
But you do love pickles, so I suppose there's
I love pickles.
any excuse.
I don't mean the dog who found the World Cup. I mean those things that come in jars.
Nor the judge.
I said I had a bit of tension with the mother-in-law this week.
Did you? Why? I saw
Well,
the mother-in-law this week.
I
We had
was-
coffee.
The cheese.
I was celebrating the fact that Barzy's saying daddy now on a regular basis.
Lovely.
And, I mean, you can imagine how exciting that is, your baby saying
Yeah.
daddy. And she said to me, is it daddy? It sounds more like egghead. I thought,
No.
whoa! Hold on, it doesn't
Also-
sound like egghead. And also,
That's
so
some sort of slander, as
not
might now
only is he
say.
not saying daddy, he's abusing me. Because I have got a bit of an egghead. And the first thing he's going to say is an insult. I'm not having it. He definitely says daddy. I really, trust me. Anyone listening. Get him, Kath, if you're listening, get him on the phone now, saying daddy. Back me up.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Someone's texted, I got 14 bite-sized cathedral pieces, each one wrapped. Is that
that
the
Quasimodo?
cheese?
Oh, cathedral cheese, yeah.
Do you think it is, or do you think it's someone that got
Bite-sized.
Bite-sized.
bits of a cathedral that had been
Well, if he's
broken down into
yeah, but it could be Britain's fattest man. He might think that's bite-sized.
BFM?
What, cathedral-sized cheese?
Yes.
I think he got hit with a cathedral, didn't he? Silvio Berlusconi.
He did at
Remember
one
somebody?
point, yeah.
That was a bit... my view is let he who is without sin cast the first cathedral.
To paraphrase.
Hey, I'm
Where
just
did you
trying to
read
cheer.
that?
I'm just trying to cheer everyone up today. It's Christmas, and you got your choice. You can be Jerry or you can be posh, right? You can smile or you can
Or you
be
can
solemn.
look great.
Yeah.
I had a horrible moment looking at those pictures, thinking in reunion scenarios, I think I might be posh. I think I might
Really?
be. Like, I think my family and friends probably think, oh, he's a bit aloof, standing at the side, not jumping up and down. I think that's probably me.
Yeah.
I can't sing. I'm very like
You are actually. I've often thought that.
I'm a very successful fashion designer. Anyway, we've had some emails in during the week.
Whoa. Email corner. Nice to hear Chewbacca harmonising.
Yeah, it was nice. Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, I'm an expat living in Maine, USA, another Maine man. Really enjoy listening to the podcast as it keeps me in touch with things back home. I particularly enjoyed the discussion on last Saturday's show about catchphrases. Alan's story about a drunken lady's rantings on a night out in Huddersfield struck a particular
Well,
chord.
that was every week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. A few years ago, I was in a pub car park in Coventry after a day out watching my beloved Huddersfield town lose to the mighty Kidderminster Harriers. I witnessed a drunk...
Kidderminster Harriers was quite local to me. I used to play cricket in the Kidderminster League.
Did you?
Yeah. Good for carpets, Kidderminster.
Is that right?
But I seem to remember they had twins playing from at one point, the Harriers. I think they were called the Joyner twins. And people used to say that they had a sort of a bit psychic going on. That one would know where the other one, what they could pass without
That's
even looking at
useful.
it.
Oh, that is handy.
Yeah. They're my fourth favourite twins. After the Cheekies, Samanda, and the Crays, obviously.
Are they twins?
Yeah.
Were they?
The Crays?
Of course they were, yeah. That's why they're called the
They
Cray
were.
twins, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be more familiar with their work.
I am more familiar with their work than that would have led you to believe.
They should have done
sadly.
They should have done a Samanda, shouldn't they? But it's difficult because they both got the same initial.
Yeah.
Rajoni.
Yeah.
Johnny's lovely.
Yeah.
Not as easy as
Love
that, is it?
Johnny.
Anyway, he'd been watching Huddersfield Town lose to the mighty Kidderminster Harriers. I witnessed a drunk local exiting the pub, shouting angrily at, I assume, his girlfriend. He then proceeded to take offence towards me, quite justified given that I was simply standing there minding my own business, and retorted, "Don't think you're hard because you're wearing a football shirt." I like that.
Yes, it's your kind of thing.
It's a nice phrase, isn't it? Me and my brother went through a phase where every change that we made, like buying new trainers or getting a new haircut, and we would always look at each other and go, does this make me look a bit harder? We wanted to look hard.
Was that the goal then?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's horrible looking back on it.
You
but
see, I often wear a
just made me
football
look-
shirt, but I wear...
You don't look hard in it, darling.
No, I secrete it under a hooded top.
Oh,
I
God.
don't like to wear one up on the surface.
Don't think you're hard just because you're wearing a hoodie.
No.
That could actually be a phrase now.
I'll be honest with you, on Wednesday I wore a singlet.
Oh, did you?
I haven't worn a singlet for a long time.
How did that go?
You know a singlet's like a very small spinster.
Yes, it's like
No,
what,
it's a-
118 man.
It's a vest, basically.
118 top.
Yeah, I wore a vest under my shirt.
Oh, I thought you wore it on its own. I thought you were just...
I'm getting so... I'm going backwards. I think I've peaked. I'm like a bouncing ball. I've reached the top of my arc and I'm going back down. I wore a vest this week, and I also... my girlfriend bought me a manual typewriter.
Wow.
Not Emmanuel Typewriter, the well-known Jewish printer. A manual typewriter. I love it.
That's a nice gift.
I'm doing stand-up in the new year, so I've decided I'm going to write it all on a manual typewriter. So that's what I've been doing.
Oh, goodness.
It's not funny, but it sounds great.
Yeah. That sounds hard work.
I'm loving it. We are still
Yeah.
in the corner. Not with baby
No.
No,
to leave.
with email.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, I love the podcast. A bit too much like praise, but never mind. And feel compelled to share a family saying with you. We were talking about that last week, weren't we?
Yes.
On my husband's first day at school, he's now 55, he was so overwhelmed by the whole experience that he had a most unfortunate incontinent episode of the number 2 variety.
Oh. Worse still.
He was sent home with his soiled clothes parcelled up in newspaper and tied with string.
Oh.
From that day on, his father would herald a trip to the loo by announcing, "I'm going for a package." Over the years, this phrase was lengthened to package deal and then shortened to deal.
So they say I'm going for a deal. They go to the toilet.
A term now affectionately used by my husband and delivered in a tone reminiscent of his father. Incidentally, the school dressed him in a pair of leather lederhosen to protect his dignity.
Lovely.
Thanks for the laughs, Leanne in Queensland, Australia.
Lederhosen.
Yeah, strange.
The sun on the meadow is summery warm. Everybody listening, come on, sing up. The stag
I don't know how I feel about this anthem.
forest runs free.
Don't know it.
No.
That would have really protected his dignity, the leather lederhosen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the idea though of saying I'm going for a deal. I might use it.
Deal or no deal?
Deal or
I
no
don't-
deal
yeah,
when
but
you come
that is-
back out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. Kath does that. Kath will say to me, any good? Any luck?
Any
False
good?
alarm.
Yeah, I'll say it was a missed deal. Oh, dear. Laugh. No, please.
Hi, Frank, Emily and the Cockerel. My old man has a bounty of tried and tested dad jokes at his disposal throughout my childhood. But perhaps the most well-worn item in his repertoire was when he would put the car in reverse, let out a nostalgic sigh and say, "Ah, this takes me back." Still as funny the 356th time as the first, at least to him.
I'm hoping it would be all right for me to use that sometime.
Do you know what? As soon
You're
as I
so
read that,
gonna
I
use
thought,
that.
I'm having that.
It's so brilliant.
I love it.
I think it's the best joke I've ever heard.
My God.
I do. And I love a car-based joke. It reminded me of a joke I used to do and I forgot about. Is that when I was in the car, I used to open the glove compartment and then I'd say, "Where have I put them gloves?" "Where have I put them gloves?" And then close it again. I stopped it because no one laughed.
No.
One I saw Jerry Lee Lewis live.
Oh.
And a woman got on stage. You know, sometimes
He's a bit of a filthy creep,
You know,
isn't he?
sometimes people get on stage, like fans, and try to approach the artiste.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
Jerry,
how I've met some of my boyfriends.
it's
but
really
anyway, yeah.
fabulous. And Jerry Lee was playing the piano, so he was focusing. And this woman came on, and she tried. I think she went to kiss him, but when she went close, he sort of he just saw at the last minute. He splashed out at her, sort of threw his arm out. He didn't hit her hard, but he sort of slapped her away. And the security guards came on and dragged her off. And Jerry Lee said, "Sorry," he said, I thought it was my ex-wife." And I've used that. If I'm doing a TV record and anyone like the floor manager or anything comes, anyone creeps up on me, I always say, "Oh, sorry, I thought that was my ex-wife." I love it. I'll keep them rolling in.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Hi. Are you familiar with the work of Chesney Hawkes?
Well, surely he is the one and only.
I think he was the one and only.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, don't say "ah," because he had a little bit of a comeback.
Oh, he did the Christmas lights. He got some stick, didn't
The
he?
Christmas market opening at Hastings. That makes it sound
Okay.
like it was Regent Street.
Okay.
But it didn't go down very well with the residents
Yeah, but
initially.
Mayfair was done by Catherine Jenkins.
Lucifer.
Yeah. It said in the Mail, the very essence of Christmas. Come off it. Unless they meant, on her new album, she's doing Santa Baby. It has not escaped my attention that Santa is an anagram of Satan. And also associated with red and black outfits, like Satan, associated with coming down the chimney into flames.
Yeah.
You've got her number.
Also, touring with Il Divo at the moment. Not a million miles from El Diablo, but also, do you remember Il Divo on...
Not
on,
a million miles.
do you remember...
But two totally different words.
Do you remember Black and Red, of course? Black or Red, which was an anthem to Satan. On that, when Il Divo were on... Do you remember,
Sung by Anton Dare.
do you remember they chose the colours by pulling feathers out of an angel's wings? The most profoundly symbolic act. Well, she's now touring with them. I mean, the forces are gathering, and it's up to us to fight back. Yeah, and I think we know she's got a bit of a mole in the Spice Girls.
Oh.
Okay, we'll say no more.
Well, meanwhile, over in Hawksville,
Oh, yes.
so Chesney, the resident, he got a bad reception. When it was announced he was doing it, they
Why?
were...
Didn't they set up like an anti-Chesney Twitter or Facebook?
Well, no,
like,
it was rumoured that
say
Suggs...
no to Chesney. or
It was
something?
rumoured that Suggs would be doing it.
Well, that
And
would
they-
be... They must be gutted.
Yeah. It's very hard to see Suggs unless you're in a pub in Islington.
I read someone saying, "Why can't we have Mick Jagger?" And you think, well, he's busy. That's why.
How long would it take to answer the question, why can't they have Mick Jagger opening the Christmas fair in Hastings? This has been my life, I have to say. When you do chat shows and stuff like that, you have the first meeting, and someone says, what guests shall we have? What about Madonna? And you say, would Madonna do it? And they say, you know what, I think she might. I honestly think she might. 2 weeks later, they're saying Ashley Banjo might be interested. it drops very... Not that there's
Yeah.
anything wrong with Ashley, but, you know, these big star things. Mick Jagger. Good old
Ches.
Ches.
Chesney.
I always liked Ches.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Always, he had the untended mole. See, a
Yes.
lot of celebrities would have got rid of that mole.
Mm-hmm.
He used to. He
He
was.
did a Cindy Crawford with it.
He used to leave it to grow fallow for a year.
Did he?
Yeah, like a crop rotation thing.
Like Glastonbury when they just left
also-
it for a bit.
Yeah.
Another resident who was interviewed also asked, why can't they have a proper celebrity like Andy Bell? Which I thought was quite a low bar, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but that's at least that's reasonable.
Yeah. Well, Chesney did the gig, the good news is, and I think he killed it.
He
Well,
stormed it.
he opened with Slade's "Merry Christmas, Everybody,"
Mm.
which was that was good that he did that.
The only thing that I had an issue with, Frank, was, did you see the photographs? He wore a T-shirt saying "I Heart
Oh.
Hastings," but he wore
Over a winter coat.
over the coat out, and it looked. You know when a Tory MP has to put on the T-shirt at
Oh,
the jumble
yeah.
sale over a shirt and a jacket.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He looked big. It was a bit shallow. How?
It's
Yeah.
a Michelin Man thing, yeah. It's
I
not-
don't like that I Heart things as well. I Heart New York, I Heart. I don't like the idea of any kind of offal being used as a verb. Back me up.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean. I'm with the Cockerel, Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 81215. You can follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute. And it's nearly Christmas.
It is nearly Christmas. Apparently Chesney Hawkes next year is going to do Panto in Hastings. You know that? Because then he's got the whole of the year after it off to regret it. Apparently those who act in Hastings repent at leisure. It's a little joke there for you. Little pun that I've been keeping.
Hastings. Is it Marion? Okay.
Well, anyway, moving on to pastures new.
Isn't it Marion Haste?
I thought it was
Repent.
act in haste, repent
I
at
think
leisure.
it's Marion.
No,
in
it's
Haste.
act in haste, isn't it?
I think
well-
I'll find it's Marion.
No, well,
I
as
think
your
it's
girlfriend
act.
said to me this week, Frank. Well, as they say, in my jest, my whatever.
Yeah,
That's a very Kath thing to say.
That's
In
just
my
a lot
jest,
of-
my whatever.
some of the things. When she said there was a guy at work, she said you should have seen him. He said he was like a goldfish in the headlights. I think it was a Senator Edward Kennedy joke.
I've
Anyway,
spoken out of turn. I now bring you.
he's shaken. He's completely shaken.
I now bring you to 3 words: monkey, sheepskin, IKEA.
Oh, that macaque.
Oh,
Oh, I love
exciting,
that
isn't it?
In case you
macaque.
don't know this story, it's very fine. There's
very
a
fine.
monkey it's in Canada, was it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, I believe so.
A monkey suddenly turned up in IKEA wearing a full length for a monkey, sheepskin coat.
it was a
It was in
Molson.
Sunderland, Ontario, in Canada.
It was one of those rare occasions of it being a monkey in sheep's clothing. You don't often hear of. And it was screaming and going ballistic the way monkeys do.
He was wearing a sheepskin coat, Frank.
There's a shot of him gazing up into the CCTV camera with his it's all buttoned up and it's brilliant, like Secret Squirrel.
Yes.
Well, they have got the opposable thumb, haven't they, of course? So.
I want to buy him, just for Christmas, but I want to buy
He's
him.
available, I think, because he's been taken off his owner for having an inappropriate pet.
I'll wait till they see my fox.
I wondered if he might be an East German political prisoner come to protest
Do you think
all that IKEA work, but never know. It was it's a fabulous.
I like the
thing.
fact that it was in Sunderland, Ontario. You can tell that it's in the Canadian Sunderland because even a monkey wouldn't wear an outdoor coat in winter in our Sunderland, would it? Be just
that's
sans
true.
coat.
It's true. It was. They're calling him Darwin.
What do you think of that?
Oh.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's a simplistic summing up of Darwin's theory, isn't it? Monkey in overcoat. Did you get it? Evolution just summed up there.
Do you think they're that simplistic that they're looking for an owner that wears a sheepskin coat based on the monkey see, monkey do theory?
Yeah, maybe so.
Why was he in IKEA? I mean, that's what I want to know.
Yeah. Do you think
He
they're
might have
like,
been after a tyre.
do you think they're more like Heels kind of customers or something?
Do you think he was pining for the jungle?
Oh, yeah.
I was gone terribly pun heavy. This. It's
know.
but a weird coincidence. I was working with glamour model Lucy Pinder this week.
Are you doing your calendar again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the fluffer.
Yeah.
And anyway... sorry. No, I was working with Lucy Pinder, and it turns out her ambition, or one of her ambitions, is to hold a monkey. It's brilliant.
That sounds disgusting.
I don't mean 500 quid. I mean... to actually embrace and hold a monkey.
Do you know she's my sound-alike, Frank, apparently?
Is that right?
Yes. People used to text into the show and say I sounded like her.
I must say, I liked her. She wasn't...
I'm a fan of Pinders.
I thought she'd be, an airhead kind of a... She was nice.
No, she's quite bright, isn't she?
But also, but I said, look, I'm sure if Lucy Pinder's agent phoned up, say, London Zoo and said, Lucy, look, come and hold a monkey, I said, they'd sort it out.
Yeah.
And she said, do you think so? These people, they got the world in the palm of their hand. They don't know. They don't know about it. My ambition, of course, some of you may know, is to lead the world's longest conga. And she said, oh, well, I'll come in that. I'll come into that, if you like. Very open for everything. But I said it'd be very, very jolting. I thought,
oh, God.
You'd need a good sports.
Oh.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, can we pop back briefly to Email Corner?
No sooner said... Email I think we've arrived.
Who was that harmony by? If the last one was Chewbacca.
Marky Smith. Who did
Marky Smith, was it?
Somebody, I think it was Kim Wilde.
Oh, I love that. Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, whilst considering Christmas gift buying, I cast my mind back to what my fiancé bought me last year, as follows. A whiskey tasting, a copy of Playboy, Christmas edition. Oh, Holly, painful. And some old-fashioned shaving soap, the type that requires a badger hairbrush,
A bit retro.
which I've since added. Not wanting to appear ungrateful for these fine gifts, but I can't help thinking it's almost like she was having an affair with Gene Hunt and got our gift list the wrong way round. Either that or she views me as some sort of 70s throwback. I'm hoping to adopt a 70s theme for her this year. Any ideas?
Industrial action. That's what I associate with the 70s, mainly.
Also, I've been congratulated. I'm working my way through your back catalogue and I'm currently 12 months behind, and I've just heard Emily tipping the Intarsia Christmas jumper for Xmas 2011. I just saw an article about how it's fashionable this year. Emily's clearly a year ahead.
I don't even remember the Intarsia.
No, I did talk about it.
Truls Hartman.
It was very big last season. It's still big this season.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's because of
It's
the
what we
killing.
call a
You should've-
crossover item.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it very good for AW 2011-12?
Yeah.
If I was going to present my girlfriend with a 70s theme, I think I'd dress as a suede head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, would you? Those
You
are your
see-
favourite books, Frank.
I feel the suede heads are they're the youth culture that has been most neglected.
Yeah, it's very overlooked,
It's always,
isn't it?
people talk about teddy boys,
Mods,
goths and all
punks.
that, mods, rockers, yeah, but the suede head. And it was a nice
What
look.
is the suede? Is it a skinhead? We call
Well,
it in London.
it was what happens is the
Further than
skinheads.
that,
The
isn't
skinheads they grew. No, it was post skinhead. They grew out. They grew out the skinheads. That's a bit, and they'd wear the
Like that?
they'd wear the Crombie, but they'd wear it with a nice pair of loafers and some
Lovely.
stay press.
Oh.
Oh yeah, lovely. What else?
Team Frank. A few months ago, my daughter started compiling a list of my dad's sayings. Inevitably, this includes a few I've picked up from Frank, including "shut up" and "get out." As a fan of Frank's back
I
catalogue,
don't know what you mean.
my own favourite... I'm not sure about this. I don't think I know this. As a fan of Frank's back catalogue, my own favourite is when I put bananas on our fruit bowl / tree thingy. I always do Frank's little joke about yellow bird high up in banana tree. Google it or ask Frank. I'm asking Frank now.
Well, what happened was that I there's a Harry Belafonte song that goes "Yellow bird up high in banana tree," and I had this idea that I would do that on stage. So I went on stage. I was trying out some stuff, and I sang "Yellow bird up high in banana tree." oh no, actually it's a banana. And it got nothing, absolutely nothing. So when I went on Room 101 as a contestant, when Nick Hancock used to do it, one thing I wanted to put in was jokes that fail.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I put this one in. I thought I'd use that one. And when I gave the example, it brought the house down in the studio, and I thought, I've wasted that now. I could have used that for years in live stand-up. I did... I last week I celebrated 25 years as a comedian, and I told a thing in that which I thought would go really well. Didn't go that well. People don't find it, and that was this idea that the biggest. Although I've been a comedian for 25 years, TV shows, big tours, #1 singles, the biggest cheer and applause I've ever had is when I dropped my tray in the school dinner hall in 1968. Now I find that hilarious. Got nothing on the night, it's got nothing now.
You were better then, though. I mean, like, that stormed it. Apparently your early stuff was really good.
Yeah.
That slapstick stuff.
I don't know, it used to be a big thing, though, dropping your tray in the dinner hall.
Oh, yeah, the applause.
massive.
I love the
Loved
applause.
it. And
Did
the
you love
more
it?
you add on,
Yes.
especially if you had the tin, the tin cup of water as well on the side.
All right, yeah.
Yes, and when the maid came to clean it up.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, I forgot all about the maid. Have a rethink.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Well, hello. Apparently, people are putting their trees in the garden, and they're, according to this article in the Daily Mail, they're buying outdoor Christmas trees that light up and putting them in their house. Have you heard about that?
Yes, have I heard about it? I've got one.
Oh, you've got one.
You've got one. You're so ahead of the curve,
Of course
aren't you?
I am.
Always.
Always.
Always fabulous.
Have you got it in or out?
In.
Okay.
I've always felt an evergreen. I think there's no place for a tree inside a house. It's not their manner. I think it needs to be outside nestling in the mud. It's like having a slug indoors. Why would you bring a tree into the house? I hate it. But this LED number, oh, it's lovely.
The LED number.
Oh,
You brought it in?
yeah.
Right.
It's inside. Lovely.
Because one of the joys on this show, I think, that is shared is enjoying the Daily Mail comments. And on this story about the expensive trees, well, they're about 90 quid, aren't they? And people bring them in, and some people are putting them out in their garden, and a lot of the comments are saying, that'd last about 3 minutes round my way.
Really?
People would nick that in the
People
garden.
always say that.
Yeah,
Mine was
absolutely.
about 139.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't get parking that in our road. Look, I'm really proud that our road has got a high crime level. That makes me look better. No, it doesn't. Yeah, because I've got the courage to live here. So I wouldn't leave that outside. That won't be there very long because I've got the braveness to live in an area that's very dangerous.
Just say I don't think I've ever sneezed on the show before, especially not mid one of your riffs, one of your
That's
comic
all right.
riffs.
I'm happy with it.
Bless me.
I don't know if it's a comic riff. It's just a point. Don't brag about living in a rough area.
More
just something to
importantly-
make
A little
it
bit
better.
of advice from Frank Skinner there.
Join the neighbourhood watch and try and tidy things up. Try and speak to the people who are causing trouble and find out what their problems are. Don't just crow about it.
All it takes
Oh,
for
Russell.
evil to thrive in society is for good people to do nothing. Tune in next week on...
I have to say, you do get the occasional house in a road. I can think of like 3 I know where they go absolutely mad on the Christmas lights. Where
Yeah.
they've got everything outside all over the
I call
front
it that
of
bit
the
lotto lout. I know that.
Uh-huh.
I always... No, obviously, there are several criteria for deciding mental illness. But I have to say that would be one of mine.
Mm-hmm.
If I took you to a road and there was one house like that that's got like the sleigh outside all lit up, and I said to you, in one of these houses in early 2013 there's going to be a domestic murder, you'd point at that one immediately, wouldn't you?
See, my mind changes as soon as I hear it's for charity. Like there's someone near
What's
my
for
mum's.
charity?
They do their house right up and they have a little box at the front of the house.
Yeah, but all the
It's
money
good.
they spent on those lights, I don't like. It's a bit Wall Street in the 80s.
I suppose.
Keep it-
Yeah, no, I'm not. I like, we've got a big tree. We've got a massive tree. We had to
Well, you're
cut.
doing well, aren't you? You're on
Well, yeah.
telly all the
How do
time.
you get it up to that
Should get a
penthouse
big
then?
tree.
We cut the top off our tree because Kath got a tree so big it was too big for the flat.
Oh.
Cost me about $4,000. I actually don't know what it cost me, but it's
Didn't
really...
even ask, did you?
You can't put the fairy on.
Just gave him a card.
It's hard against the ceiling. No room for a fairy. A fairy would
The
be...
fairy is.
The fairy would be pressed sideways into the... So no, it just goes into the ceiling. It looks like... And the way it's cut, it looks like it's clasping the ceiling. You know when a waiter holds a tray and you see the hand from underneath? It looks like it's holding up the ceiling. It's not how it should be.
Frank, we're talking about Christmas trees. I'm obviously very on trend
Oh,
with my outside LED inside. Cockerel, what do you plump for?
We've got an artificial one that we'll be putting up today. Well, it will be put up.
Late in the day, Frank.
It'll be put up in my absence.
Ours has been up 2 weeks already.
Yeah,
Has it really?
me too.
Wow.
Kath can't wait. She cannot wait to get the tree up.
Well, apparently they're going to leave it for me to put the fairy on top, but
I
it's
never
gonna
have a
be done.
fairy.
You don't have the fairy?
It reminds me of the humiliating death of Edward II. So you may know he was killed with a red hot poker
Oh,
in the seating area.
I see. Yeah, well, I suppose that would take the edge off your Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that. I mean, the whole Christmas tree topic I have a problem with, to be honest, because as you
Why?
know... Well, I think my lowest moment, career moment, was when I finally agreed to do an advert, and I did the voiceover for the Slimline Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't.
I did.
Oh, Frank.
40 minutes worth, 30 grand.
No.
But even so...
Oh, I hate it when you talk about money. It makes me absolutely ill.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry, everyone.
really, Frank. Oh God.
But it didn't...
Well,
no, I gave
never
the
say
money.
never.
I gave the money to a popular charity.
Did you?
Did you?
No. I thought that maybe they might squander it on stuff.
Oh God.
You know.
Okay.
I
How
know
quickly
this
did you
is-
take the decorations down on the Christmas tree? How,
Always on the 6th.
really?
Yeah.
You do that, do you?
Yeah.
Because I feel less bothered about taking it down. I'm near enough. Once Christmas is done, I could take them down Boxing Day. I'm not that bothered.
I don't have decorations on it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, it's-
Stark.
It's yeah.
Minimalist.
Philippe. It's very. I find it too much clutter, and I don't like that.
Right, yeah.
I like it to look like a design piece. Daisy's seen my tree. What did you think, Daisy?
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh, you see. There was that one year when we had a purple glitter reindeer, and I couldn't bear to take it down. It's still there. It's been there ever since.
Is that right?
Yeah, I love it. Again, it's a cheerful
I was given
thing.
to you by one of your neighbours in the Vauxhall area, wasn't
You
it?
know, I
Coming out of a club one night.
Okay.
Someone coming out of a frying pan.
I think they were dressed as one as well as a purple glitter. Yeah, coming out the frying pan.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had a text in from 140 who says, 4 months ago today, I was in labour listening to downloads of your podcast. It was an extremely ambitious attempt to take my mind off things. Just as I got to the dreaded push phase, I heard you talking about meeting the new NCT group and how you dare not tell them how horrific the next few months will be. Your comedy timing is amazing, even in a download. You got a laugh from a very tough crowd.
Blimey.
On my part, I have to say it was mainly due to gas and air, though.
I must remember that. Could that be fed into an auditorium?
I like that, though. You helped bring new life into the
No,
world,
that's
Frank.
fabulous. See, this is what I'm talking about. Reasons to be cheerful.
Yes.
Well, I've had another one that's amazing, in my opinion. Reason to be cheerful. My wife and I survived the Boxing Day tsunami in 2004,
Wow.
so this time of year is always hard. However, we now have a 3-year-old daughter who is quite possibly the most excited child in the country about Christmas. Steve in Surrey. That's amazing.
That's made me feel slightly teary.
Me too.
I just want to sing. I just want the whole nation to sing something uplifting. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
How about Marquis Smith?
I know it.
Cue it up.
Young, gifted and black. Everybody. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. Let's see you singing. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what... You're not... I don't feel you're joining me.
I've no apology.
Anyway, so...
I was busy laughing at you.
Just trying to end on
prefer that, though, don't you?
Just trying to end on an up. This is our... I said last week this was going to be the last show of 2012. It isn't. It's our last live show, but there's going to be 2 fabulous greatest hits shows
Oh.
Oh,
over Christmas and New Year. we're doing that thing of bringing out our greatest hits album.
look
When
forward
I
to
said
that.
it was going to be the last one, I was putting tremendous faith in the predictions of the Mayan civilization,
Oh yeah.
who say that the world will end next Friday.
I'll be listening to them in a
There's
slightly
a lot of West Brom
self-obsessed way.
fans thinking, why couldn't that have been 2 weeks ago?
Oh, dear.
But anyway, yeah, what are we going to do if the world ends next Friday?
I don't know.
Dunno.
There'll be a rousing chorus of Young, Gifted and Black round
Well.
your way, that's for sure.
That's really picked me up. I don't care. It's one of those songs that
Don't
makes me
care who
think-
knows it, do you?
Yeah, it's lovely.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I think this is likely to be the last link of the year, and pre-Christmas.
Don't forget
what-
our greatest hit shows.
I mean the live one.
Okay.
But pre-Christmas, what better way to go out than? Did you? Are you aware of the story this week where a lad who looked like Jesus was at the darts, and apparently 4,000 darts fans spotted that he looked like Jesus and started singing "Stand Up If You Love Jesus" to the point where it put off the darts players, and he had
When
to
you
be
say
removed
the
by
darts
security.
players, it was one of my favourites, Phil the Power Taylor.
He was the
Feel
one
the
who was
power.
upset.
I love the power.
I mean, that's the level of power he's got, that he can get Jesus taken out of a room that
Well,
he's in.
I did love Phil the Power Taylor, but I think his response to this Jesus character is a bit.
You think it's close to blasphemy?
Well, I just think he said, I'll crucify him if I get old. Was what he said
Oh,
after, because he
dear.
Oh, I
lost.
think he was having a little laugh though,
I
wasn't he?
don't think he lost, didn't he? And he was blaming the chanting.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil the Sour Taylor. I thought.
Was he an electrician? Because
Who,
that's
Phil
the
the
sort.
Power?
Yeah, that's the sort of nickname that
Oh.
somebody who was a Sparky would have in it, like Colin the Power.
Someone who was a
Stevens.
Sparky. This has got so male. I'm going to have to opt out.
No, can I just say, I'm a big fan of the darts. You know that. I used to go to the World Championships at Ali Pali, and I liked the
Lovely
policy
arrows.
that when you bought a pint, you had to buy them in increments of 4. You
that
couldn't
right?
buy any fewer than 4, which I thought was genius.
The audiences are brilliant, all holding
Yeah.
up the signs and all that stuff. And how they cope with the smoking ban. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? No, it must have meant the world to them.
They go out in
Yeah.
groups of 4,000.
Well,
That's what happens.
4,500, nearly 5,000. Jesus was there.
But
Just
what I
saying.
don't get is this guy was thrown out because the
Yeah.
crowd were chanting. That seems wrong.
That's,
It does.
yeah.
They
He was
should have,
treated
the
like
crowd
Jesus.
should have been thrown out, and he
Yeah.
should have been left to watch the
But why
darts.
should he hadn't done anything wrong other than look like Jesus?
That would have been slightly freaky for the darts players, though, if 4,500 people were thrown out and just left with him standing
left
there,
with him,
middle of an empty floor, looking at them play darts.
He said that he was emotionally distraught.
Yeah.
It was upsetting. Apparently,
Lawsuit.
the
Lawsuit.
crowd, they allowed Barabbas to stay.
No, no way.
Jesus had to go.
People are fickle, aren't they?
Biblical joke.
Can I say,
How quick that we forget. Is that right?
my New Year's resolution is I'm never going to read out another reader's comment, because I think it's become a thing that people do a bit now. However, somebody in the Mirror did say, this was a mild incident compared to what happened to the real Jesus. Which is a fair point. A fair point. If he'd just been thrown out of Jerusalem, then that would have been all right. But, yeah, what if it had been... they wouldn't think themselves lucky he wasn't mistaken for Saint Sebastian.
Right. What happened to him?
Well, I knew no one would get that, but I'm allowed one Catholic joke for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Do I have to Google it?
Google image Saint Sebastian, and you'll see why you wouldn't want to be mistaken for him at a darts tournament.
Oh, okay.
There you go, the
Okay.
joke. There's a little joke to take away with you.
Yeah, yeah. The gift that keeps on giving this Christmas.
Catholic homework.
But I saw a picture of the Jesus. I don't think of Jesus. I mean, no one knows what Jesus looks like, but he had a thick beard for
More
Jesus.
Palestinian. This
thick.
one was a bit more Scandi chic.
It
I
was,
think it's a missed opportunity for the new Pope Twitter account. How good would it be if his first tweet had been like a link to this story?
Yeah.
And everybody had gone, wow, he's really computer savvy. I thought it was just going to be religious stuff. He's gone right into the
that would have
spreading
been-
the word.
See, he needs an advisor who's on the shop floor. That's it.
Oh, at Pontifex.
The picture of the Jesus looked to me, and this is something I haven't seen for many years, but it looked to me like he might have had a brushed denim shirt on.
Nice.
Which I think at a darts tournament in Stoke makes you a kind of a Jeff Banks figure.
Yeah.
But I certainly wouldn't want to be involved in casting lots for his clothes, judging by that. But anyway, I think he was treated unjustly all over again. Fitting at Christmas that we should close on a Jesus story. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. And no, we won't. But we'll be back in 2013.
Next year.
But do listen to the Greatest Hits shows. They're absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you how good they are. I can't because I haven't heard them. And can I just say, we wish you all a very, very, very happy Yuletide thingy. And goodbye.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.